Welcome back to the Origins Minisode. This is the podcast that dives deep into the business of venture capital, where we learn how the people behind the capital, both GPs and LPs, make decisions. I'm Nick Chirls, GP at Asylum Ventures.
And I'm Beezer Clarkson, your LP co-host from Sapphire Partners, where we aim to invest in exceptional early-stage venture capital managers ranging from emerging to established VCs. And I'm excited to unpack our recent conversation with Alex from Slipstream.
Me too. I love that conversation because it actually felt like us just all jamming and learning together, which was great. Alex would also probably be a good co-host. Maybe we can rope him into an episode one day.
I loved it. You know me, I can geek out with fellow LPs all the time because I learned from you, I learned from him. I adore it. What was your couple things that just stuck in your head?
I think you both, really take the time to, I think you one are students of the game. Like, you guys are not like just phoning it in. You take the time to understand the people. There's like genuine curiosity and caring. I've met a lot of LPs. I do think that's rare. That is not maybe market standard, your level of, caring and curiosity and wanting to win and find the right diamonds in the rough. So I just appreciate hearing that as a GP. I guess my question is like, where maybe would you guys be most dissimilar? There's a lot of agreement.
I didn't ask him his maximum threshold for fund size, but I suspect we will invest in larger funds than he will. We're not as concentrated. We run fairly concentrated books. These are all sort of technicalities. I think we actually have more similar than dissimilar. And I super, super appreciate, because he articulated it so well. And do you have this experience? It's sort of the serendipity of conversation where you hear somebody say something and then three other people the same week say it. And then you're like, how is everyone thinking the same thing this week? This whole comparison with 2021 has been a topic that has been hitting me for the last 5 days, which isn't that weird?
Interesting. Yeah.
Maybe it's because we all saw a bunch of 100x multiples and we're like, we just saw this. Holy crap. Did we learn nothing? But I really appreciated being able to discuss that and look at what's the same and what's different. And I hear you talking about wanting founders that iterate and learn. And I now try to digest and think about our GPs and our LPs iterating and learning. And if we saw this last time, what did we learn that is good and actionable and investable in this market? And then what is you're like, oh yeah, we saw that one we can leave behind. And you really educated me in the crypto world. And now you've got me thinking about the venture world. So I don't know. Thank you. Super interesting.
I mean, the thing that's definitely the same is the 100x revenue multiples. And hard for me to imagine how that plays out differently. What is very interesting that both of you discussed is venture deployment pace not changing dramatically. So that might actually be an important difference.
I'm taking a note on that. What we haven't seen is people racing back to fundraise because of venture deployment. I haven't done a cap call analysis. So it could be people are deploying, just not fundraising, which will have the obvious challenge for the basic math reasons. But we're definitely, 2 years would be the minimum we're seeing people still deploy on now. We're not getting I poured all my money in, because we're not, you tell me, I'm not hearing now I need to do a ginormous pro rata follow on because my pre-seed or seed is now raising at $1 billion and I have my $5 million pro rata I have to do. We haven't heard that yet. Maybe it's coming. Maybe that's the next shoe to drop in the cycle.
I wonder also if perhaps the difference is like in 2021, VCs not just paid really high prices, but like deployed the capital crazy quick. And so I wonder maybe if there's at least today, this could also change in the next few quarters, but like at least today there's, I'll pick out one or two companies and like I'll have to hold my nose a little bit and it's going to be really expensive, but like, I think this is an important one to be part of, but I won't do the whole portfolio of that. Like, you have to make exceptions and pay for an expensive one or two. And so maybe there is learning from 2021, which is like, I'll do a couple really expensive ones. I think they're important, but like the whole portfolio won't be that. That would be a good learning if so.
I agree. I haven't heard articulated as such, but the data points seem to suggest it. And again, we'll see 6 months from now if they're still there. But yes, I do hear people sort of, the conversation is, yeah, we can't afford to do all of these. Which ones are we going to do? And I would say one of the LP speaks that I've heard said a lot in 2020 and 2021 is the keep the bar high, which is basically guidance to do exactly that, which is you can do a couple. We can all do a couple. You can't make it all of them. The other thing that I haven't seen yet, but I'm wondering if it's going to be different, we're seeing folks find creative exits for the 2019, 2020 stuff, maybe a little bit earlier in the lieu of all of the M&A and IPOs that isn't happening in the market. We're seeing folks trying to find liquidity in other ways. If these valuations do keep running and you end up with multi-billion-dollar 100x revenue multiple companies in your fund, will people now have learned you can take some money off the table?
Yep.
Right? We've gotten some distributions that way recently. Yep. Because it just was so high that, again, if you can sell 10%, 20% of your stake into a big round, you tell me, but my experience as an LP is people are not going to be mad at Nick because there's somebody pouring money in. They're actually grateful for a little bit of extra. And it gives you a whole bunch of just sort of, leveling in your DPI to save room for the other stuff. But we haven't seen it in spades, but I'm wondering if that's not the next dynamic.
Yeah. Which are honestly all very positive outcomes of and learnings of 2021, if that's the case. It's like, actually, venture lives on bubbles. We're going to get one, if maybe my theory is correct, which I don't know if it is, we're going to get one actually like maybe every 4 or 5 years rather than every 10 historically. And one of your jobs as a venture manager is to like understand sort of where you are and find little bits of liquidity and not spend all the money in the first year. And so maybe those were all lessons learned in 2021.
Oh gosh, I hope so. That's awesome.
Or maybe it ends up exactly the same, in the next 6 to 12 months. So we don't know. We won't know yet. Well, I love learning with you, and as always, and I thought Alex was great. And yeah, maybe we do part 2.
Yeah. Well, thank you for inviting him. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to this Minisode of Origins, the show where we discuss the venture capital ecosystem through the lens of myself, a GP, and Beezer, an LP.
We'll be back soon with a new episode of Origins. You can find that right here in this feed, and while you're there, please rate and review the podcast. It's super helpful for other folks looking for venture insights to find our show, and really helpful for Nick and I to know what you want to hear. I'm Beezer Clarkson.
And I'm Nick Chirls, and we'll be back soon. Thanks for listening.